So, before I even start, I just want to say that I filmed this video twice already, and both times the video was way too long, so I finally decided to resort to a script to make things more clear and concise. So if I sound very robotic, then you know why. So, without further ado, let's begin. Today, I'll be talking about a topic most APHMAU fans are not aware of, and if they do know it, then most of them simply don't know what it means, and how it will connect to the My Street series. So today, I'll be sharing my theories about the infamous description story. The description story first begins after Jason made a tweet on April 9th, 2018. It says the following: 15 until midnight. So, what does this mean? Well, there's not much to work with here. I can infer that the word midnight is meant to symbolize the end. For example, Cinderella's horse carriage turning back into a pumpkin at midnight. So, 15 until the end? That still doesn't make sense. This was very cryptic and confusing at first, but finally, some smart people decided to search the words 15 until midnight into YouTube. They found this YouTube channel, accordingly named 15 until midnight. After going on this channel, they discovered that the channel only had one video named 15 until midnight. The video at first seems like just 30 seconds of blackness, but after increasing the audio and brightness of the video, you get this. You can see very clearly the Lady Irene symbol on screen, and you can hear the signature Irene bells playing in the background. What does this mean? Well, it means that Lady Irene has to be involved in some way, shape, or form to the description story. Commented on the video confirming that this video is official. The comment seems very mysterious and very cryptic at first, but after reading it and dissecting it line by line, I think I have an idea of what it might mean. August 5th, 327 RS. There is no mistaking it. Zaid's path is clear. On April 28th, 342 RS, Zaid will collide with the planet. Our physicists are calling it a planet killer. Nothing will escape its destruction. Not even our great city of Zata. Hala, my son, was just born, and I already know he will never grow into a man. Many have already left the academy. They see little use in continuing their research given our new restraints on life. Mia and I will not give up yet. We will not stop our studies on animal manipulation. Maybe someday we will find a way to protect our son. 3 more rotations. We have 15 years left. Damn. Alright, so what could this possibly mean? Who is Zaid? Who is Dem? Who is Mia? Well, I'm going to answer all your questions. Now, let's decode this line by line. So, let's see the first line. August 5th, 327 RS. This line might seem confusing at first, but in reality, this is just a date. August 5 is a day and month, and 327 RS is just the year. Since the date is the first line of this little story, we can assume that this is some type of journal or diary entry, so I'll be referring this as a journal entry from now on. Next, let's look at the first paragraph now. So, in this paragraph, we can very much assume that Zaid is some space object like a meteor or a comet or heck, even another planet that is going to crash into whatever planet this person is on. The impact will be so bad that everyone and everything is going to die. We can also infer that this person lives in a big city called Zeta. In this paragraph, there's also the predicted date that Zayd will crash into the planet and destroy everything. This date is April 28th, 342 RS. We've already established that a number directly before the words RS means the year. So the year that Zayd will collide with the planet is 342 RS. If you do the math, the predicted year and the year the journal entry is written, 327 RS, are 15 years apart. The number 15 should ring a bell. Remember 15 until midnight? We know that midnight means the end. And with the new information that we have, we can infer that midnight is referring to the end of the world, because once Zayd hits the planet, everything will die and it will be the end of the world. We also know that the number 15 is the number of years until the end of the world, at the time that this journal entry was written. So, we can now infer that 15 until midnight means 15 years until the end of the world. We also figure out that whoever's writing this just had a son that was born, and his name is Hala. Since there's only 15 years left to live until the whole world is destroyed, he will never grow into the age of a man, so this is pretty self-explanatory. Alright, so let's move on to the second paragraph. So, we figure out there's this type of academy where people research anima manipulation. At this point in time, I am not completely sure what this academy is supposed to be. However, if you have any ideas, comment it down below and I will update you guys if I have any new info regarding it. However, we know that this academy is some type of research facility, and that researchers research about anima manipulation. Now, that struck me the most, and I want you guys to remember that specific word, anima. Remember that word before we move on. Now, how about this Mia person? It is safe to assume that she is someone close to the writer of the entry, since she stays and researches with them instead of leaving. And our theory that Mia is somebody close to whoever's writing this is confirmed in the next line. If you see, the key word here is our. So that means that Mia and the person who is writing this are love interests, since they had a son together, which is named Hala. And like any other parents, they are determined to protect their son from this Zayd thing. Somebody signed their name after writing this whole thing, but it also confirms the name of the person who was writing this, Dem. So, a quick recap slash summary. Alright. The day is August 5th, 327 RS. Two lovers, Dem and Mia, just had a son named Hala. They work at an academy in the city of Zeta, where they research about topics regarding anima manipulation. However, bad news arrives. It is discovered that a space object that scientists have named Zayd will collide with the planet and kill everyone and everything. Many left the academy as they see no point in continuing with only 15 years left to live. However, Mia and Dem are determined to protect and save their son and continue their research. 3 more rotations and 15 years left until the end of the world. In the second trailer of My Street Season 6, which was uploaded April 20th, 2018, April 21st, 2018, many fans have discovered a secret message. Jess very clearly says previous day's description. So I went to the description of the previous video, which at the time was the Sims 4 Making My Pets Funny Moments video. And when you go to the video and look into the description, you get 10 until midnight. April 27, 332 RS. Once more, Zaid lights up the night sky, so much closer than it was before. Everyone left has devoted all their efforts into the celestial cannon, a device engineered to stop Zaid before it makes contact with the surface. But their efforts are in vain. There is no possible energy source that could power the device. They continue their construction despite that fact. Mia and I have taken a different path. If we cannot stop Zaid's destruction, then we must find a way to outlast it, to survive it. We found what we were looking for. It's only a matter of time until we have a breakthrough. All we had to do was look into ourselves. This is it. I'm sure of it. 10 years left. Damn. So, this is very obviously a continuation of the first journal entry in the 15 until midnight video. It follows the same format, story, and characters. However, this time, instead of 15 until midnight, it says 10 until midnight. Now, if 15 until midnight means 15 years until the end of the world, and this journal entry is a direct sequel, then 10 until midnight must mean 10 years until midnight, or 10 years until the end of the world. With this new information, it is more than likely that this journal entry comes 5 years after the first one. We know this not only because of the difference of 5 between 15 and 10 until midnight, but also because that the second journal entry was found literal weeks after the first one. April 9, 2018 was the first journal entry, and April 21st, 2018 was the second journal entry, almost 2 weeks apart. Okay, great. So, we know that this journal entry takes place 5 years after the first one. Let's finally start dissecting it. The first line says, April 27, 332 RS. As we said before, this is obviously just the date. The year is 332 RS, and if you do the math, this is 5 years after the first journal entry, which was written in 327 RS, further confirming the 10 until midnight theory, and this journal entry takes place 5 years after the first one. So, let's read the first line. The first line is pretty self-explanatory. Zaid is obviously closer to this planet because 5 years already passed, so yeah, pretty self-explanatory, nothing really to elaborate there. But let's see the second line. So I think that the people who are building this so-called celestial cannon are the people who have left the academy in the first journal entry. Since they're quote-unquote smart, they all came together to build this cannon. This cannon is meant to stop Zaid before it hits the Earth, so that everyone can be saved. But if you look at a third paragraph, you can see that the celestial cannon might seem like a good idea at first, but it cannot possibly be powered because there isn't an actual energy source to actually power this device. Even though that everybody is aware of this, they continue their construction despite that fact. In the fourth paragraph, you can see that Mia and Dem have a little more sense than everybody else. So instead of following the crowd, they actually decide to take a different and honestly more smarter path. Instead of trying to stop Zaid altogether, they decide to just let it happen, but instead of just dying, they want to find a way to survive this collision. Now, we're moving on to the last lines. So, I'm not too sure about what these lines mean. I'm pretty sure that it means that Dem and Mia found a way to help them survive the collision, but I'm not sure what it is and how they found it. Leave your ideas in the comments below. And finally, the last line. 10 years left. Dem. This shows that the first and second journal entries are connected. It also proves that 10 until midnight means 10 years until the end of the world, and it's finally signed by Dem. confirming that this is a continuation of the 15 until midnight journal entry. So now that we have decoded this journal entry, let me just do a real quick recap / summary. 5 years have passed since scientists figure out that a comet named Zaid is going to hit the Earth and kill everybody. Ever since then, Zaid is even closer than ever. Everyone that left the academy decided to put all their effort into this device called the Celestial Cannon that's supposed to stop Zaid before it hits the Earth, or hits the planet that Dem is on. However, they know that there's no energy source that could power the Celestial Cannon or make it work whatsoever. Even though they know this, they continue their construction. Mia and Dem, who are a little more smarter than most of the other people, decide that if they can't stop Zaid from hitting the Earth, they're going to try to find a way to survive the collision, to survive the impact. They found what they were looking for, and it won't be that long until they make a breakthrough. All they really had to do was look into themselves. There's 10 years left until the end of the world. Decoded all these journal entries, at least all the existing journal entries at this time. It's time to share my theories on how I think these journal entries will connect to MyStreet. With this whole new story and all these new characters, it might seem like a long stretch that this description story could possibly have any relation to MyStreet. Well, naive viewer, I don't know why. Well, naive viewer, I think that I have found some evidence that might link these two stories together. And it all starts on, of course, Jason's Twitter. On April 4th, 2018, Jason tweeted a very mysterious tweet. It ominously only says 3:42. Many people were very confused about this. Some wondered if this was some joke, or maybe the time. And I'll tell you this is certainly the time. However, this is not the time you see on a clock. No. This is a timestamp. A timestamp to the video just uploaded on April 4th, 2018. On April 4th, 2018, Jason tweeted a very mysterious tweet. It ominously only says 3:42. Many people were very confused about this. Some wondered if this was some joke, or maybe the time. And I'll tell you this is certainly the time. However, this is not the time you see on a clock. No. This is a timestamp. A timestamp to the video just uploaded on April 4th, 2018. So here I have a little more enhanced version of the newspaper article, and there are some highlights on the article to highlight some important points in it. So now I will read it to you aloud. Comets and the Earth. What would happen if a comet were to impact the Earth? Would humanity as we know it cease to exist? Would we see a shift in the environment? The answers may be closer than we think. An international group of scientists have located the remains of a prehistoric civilization far in the Western Ocean, revealing an account documenting the patterns of a comet approaching the Earth, getting closer each year. According to the findings, the comet was on a direct collision with the Earth. However, when the predicted time came, the comet never appeared. The comet ceased to exist. Scholars of the ancient civilization attribute its disappearance to a mysterious light seen in the sky near its annual arrival. The origin of the light source remains unknown. What forces of nature or power could have been strong enough to subdue a comet? Perhaps it wasn't a comet, says the lead scientist of the international expedition. The historical record from this era is unreliable. Perhaps it was simply the human imagination. So, just by reading this article, you can already tell the connections between this little newspaper article and the journal entries we just read. The first little connection is this line. Revealing an account documenting the patterns of a comet approaching the Earth, getting closer each year. This is obviously referring to the journal entries that we just read. They were written by Dem and talking about how Zaid was getting closer every 5 years. Sure, there was only 2 journal entries which were separated, 5 years apart, but I'm pretty sure that there were some more journal entries, um, because nobody just writes one journal entry every 5 years. Like maybe they do, but I mean, I don't know anybody who does, so yeah. Now, the second clue that we see is this line. According to the findings, the comet was on a direct collision with the Earth. However, when the predicted time came, the comet never appeared. So maybe the comet never appeared part is not really a connection, but what is a connection is the comet was on a direct collision, which was true. In the first journal entry, we find out that some scientist finds out that Zaid is, on direct collision with the Earth and is going to kill everybody. It's going to be a planet killer. There's no doubt about it. 15 years until the end of the world. Yada yada yada. Another thing is this line: when the predicted time came. So this line might not seem that significant to the connections with the journal entry and this newspaper article, but it is, because if you didn't read the journal entries carefully enough, you would miss this. But there was a predicted date on when Zaid would hit the Earth. It was like April 28th, and it was 15 years apart. So there definitely was a predicted date on when this comet was going to hit the Earth, which further ties into the fact why this newspaper article is connected to the journal entries. And the last little connection that I have found with the journal entries and this newspaper article is this line. Scholars of the ancient civilization attribute its disappearance to a mysterious light seen in the sky near its annual arrival. So, if you don't remember, in the second journal entry, Dem talks about how Zaid is this big light and how it's getting closer because, 5 years have already passed since the initial discovery. So this further ties in with the journal entries, which further confirms that this newspaper article has to do something with the description story. Because this little newspaper article was found in a MyStreet video, it was found in a MyStreet blooper video, not exactly a MyStreet episode, but it was found in a video that was MyStreet related, and we have already proven that it is definitely connected to the journal entries that we just read. It is safe to assume that maybe these journal entries or the description story has something to do with MyStreet, or ties into MyStreet in some way, perhaps season 6. Some more proof that this little description story is connected to MyStreet is a very, very subtle detail in the first episode of MyStreet. And when I say subtle, it's literally for only 3 seconds and it's gone. It's very subtle. And this little detail also further proves that this international group of scientists that was being talked about in the newspaper article is the Guardian Force. So without further ado, let's just watch this little clip and I'll tell you where the evidence comes up.
Sir, we found what you were looking for. It was right where you said it was. It's incredible. The technicians say it dates back to...
Have you made it?
Alright. I know. I'm probably most of you are just like, what? How does that... What? But just calm down. Let me explain. So, when this red-headed scientist came to Michael and started talking about this thing, he says these exact words. Let me just... just go back a little. He says these words, and just listen to them very carefully, okay? Just listen.
Sir, we found what you were looking for.
I'll tell you when to listen.
It was right where you said it was. It's incredible.
Right now.
The technicians say it dates back to...
Have you made it to...
He says, the technicians say it dates back to. And even before that, he says, it's incredible, sir. It's right where you said it was. Okay. When he says this, I think that he's talking about the prehistoric civilization remains, because he says it dates back to. I mean, like, if you're talking about some prehistoric artifact and you're gonna say the date, probably most of you are gonna say, oh, this dates back to 5000 BC. This dates back to 1000 or something like that. You're gonna say it dates back to, just like what he said. So I think that he's talking about the journal entries and everything, and like everything from the prehistoric civilization is what he's talking about. So what I think is that because of this, the GF is going to get involved with this whole journal entry story, and they're gonna do some crazy stuff, and like, stuff is gonna go down. Okay, stuff is gonna go down because of this whole all these journal entries. So yeah, that is just some more proof connecting these journal entries to MyStreet, and also that the group of scientists, the international group of scientists that found all these prehistoric remains, is the Guardian Force. The second piece of evidence connecting MyStreet and the description story is this little clip drawing from the second recent episode at the time, which is MyStreet When Angels Fall, episode 6, Neither Here Nor There. So, if you see right here on the screen, you can see these sort of building plans. Now, at first, this might seem really, like random, or it might tie into the story, but it's just, not known yet. But I think that I know what these building plans are supposed to be. I think these building plans are the plans for the celestial cannon. If you don't remember, in the second journal entry, Dem talks about a celestial cannon that was built by his people to stop Zaid from crashing into the earth. However, Zaid somehow never existed, yada yada yada, I don't know what happened there. But they were trying to build a celestial cannon, that's for sure. I think that these building plans are the plans for the celestial cannon. Now, at first, there might not be that much evidence to prove that I'm right. I mean, it's a good guess, but where's the proof? Well, the proof lies in the latest episode at this time, which is MyStreet When Angels Fall, episode 7, Don't Disobey Me. And finally, the last and perhaps the most damning evidence of all that MyStreet is connected to these journal entries is from the latest episode of MyStreet at the time, Don't Disobey Me. Yeah, I already said that before. So, let me just play the clip for you guys, and I want you to listen to Michael's words very closely, and listen to the guy he's talking to words as well.
We mean you no harm. We just want to talk.
There will be no talking. Leave this place.
We're just on a peaceful excavation. We're amazed at what your people were capable of.
I can see your intent. Your intent is to use this machine, and I will not let that happen again.
This could have been easy. I don't have time for this.
That will not work on me. My name is Hala, and I will not ask again. Please leave this room.
Okay, I'm just fangirling a little bit right now. I'm just trying to calm down real quick. Alright. So, Michael is trying to get to this man on this other side of some barrier, so like some kind of, a barrier, okay? And he's trying to talk to him, but this man is not letting him because he knows that if he talks to him or gets into the room or gets a hold of him, that Michael is gonna use some machine. And this man does not want Michael to use this machine because he knows something bad will happen, because he says that I will not let this happen again, or something of that sort of nature. He says that. So which means that he has experienced the effects of this machine. Now, this machine, I think that this man and Michael are talking about is the celestial cannon. As I said before, those little building plans that that we saw Terry look at was, I think, the building plans for the celestial cannon. And that's why Michael wants to talk to this man, because he knows that this man has experience with the celestial cannon, and he knows that if he, persuades him to build it, that he is going to have like a lot of power, a ton of power, and he's probably going to use it for the bad. Okay, secondly, Michael says that he was on a peaceful excavation and was astounded by what your people were capable of. Now, what I think this excavation is the excavation that was written about in the newspaper article, and this is further proven because his scientists did in the first piece in that little subtle detail in one of APHMAU's first episode of My Street season 6. He says that it dates back to, and he says that is exactly where you said it was. So what I think is that this excavation is the excavation of this prehistoric civilization, and he says it was a peaceful excavation, which makes me think that there were still people alive in this area, or there were like people living in this prehistoric civilization, and what he did was he tried to use violence against them in order to find these like prehistoric artifacts, and he's just trying to play it off as if it was supposed to be peaceful and stuff like that. And that's where he got this man on the other side of the barrier. That's where he got it from, because this man was living in this prehistoric civilization. He captured him and stuff like that, and now he's here. And I think that he wants these people from the prehistoric civilization to help him build this machine, which I think is a celestial cannon, to give him ultimate powers between, I don't know, like realms and stuff like that. That's what I think. Realms, different universes, different planets is what I think that this machine is capable of. And the man on the other side of the barrier tells him, "No, I know your intent. You're just trying to lie to me. You're trying to trick me. I know what this machine is capable of. I know what the celestial cannon is capable of, because I've seen it. I've seen the effects of it before, and I'm not gonna let you, I'm not gonna let you like make it or work with it or something like that." I think the elephant in the room right now is that when Michael went through the barrier and tried to possess this man with his green eyes, and the man said it didn't work on him, the man then said, "My name is Hala." What the? What? I am not kidding right now, guys. When I was initially watching this episode, and the man said that his name was Hala, I literally ran out of the house screaming like an insane person. So you know that I am excited for this. Now, a quick recap if you don't remember, or you don't know what I'm talking about. If you don't remember, in the first journal entry, 15 until midnight, Dem says that he has a son named Hala, and this man just said that his name was Hala, which basically confirms the fact that My Street and these journal entries are connected. I freaking knew it. Woo! Now, what's really concerning is how he looks. He's obviously very old. He has white hair, has a white beard, which means that he was able to grow into a man. So, Dem, it's okay. Your son Hala was able to grow into a man. Another thing that's concerning is that why does he look like this? He has a cast around his arm, he has a shawl around him, and he has some weird mechanical thing around his other arm. Why does he look like this? And why does his eyes white out when Michael tries to possess him with his green eyes? This strongly reminds me of Lady Irene when her eyes white out sometimes and starts glowing. So maybe Hala is a divine warrior. Who knows? I'm not completely sure, but he's very adamant on not letting Michael like touch this machine because he knows that something will happen. And if my theory is correct, that this machine that Michael and Hala are referring to is the celestial cannon, then that means that when Zaid was approaching Hala's planet, and the people used the celestial cannon on the comet, on Zaid, and when that happened, something really bad happened, which ended in disaster. And Hala knows that if Michael tries to make the celestial cannon again, and he doesn't know how to use it, then everything that's bad is going to happen again, and that's why Hala is trying to not let Michael use this celestial cannon. Oh god, I just ton of word vomit just came out. I'm pretty sure that none of that made sense, but hopefully it did, because I do not want to record this video again. But something that's also very strange is that Hala looks very oddly like somebody that is related to Travis. For a second, I actually got confused. I thought that was Terry when his back was still turned, but no, that's Hala, because his name is Hala. He just said it. So does that mean Hala is related to to Travis and the whole bloodline of Travis, with Travis, Terry, and Michael? Is he related to this bloodline, and that's why Michael wants to talk to him? Is he really a divine warrior because his eyes whited out? If so, then that means Travis is a divine warrior, which I'm pretty sure we already know Travis is a divine warrior. He is a descendant of Enki, so maybe this is Enki. Who knows? There's so much to process, so much to learn, so many answers we need, so many questions and so little answers. And right now, I really don't have the information to explain why Hala is here and why he's so adamant on not letting Michael touch this machine. But anyways, other than that, I really don't have anything else to share. Yeah. And with that, I'm going to end the video. I worked very hard on this video. This is the first time I'm ever using an actual audio software, like a headphones and a microphone. This is the first time I'm actually using that, because if you watch like these videos right here, like my reaction videos, you can hear like the background noise and you can't even hear me unless I pause the video, so it's really crappy. But thank you so much for the support right now. The last time I checked, I had 170 subscribers, but now I have 187, close to 190. Maybe we can reach to 200, I don't know. And yeah, you don't need to see that. And my most recent videos are getting like a lot of views. Like this got 433 views, and everything else got like over 100. So thank you so much for this. Hopefully that my hard work will pay off and you guys will acknowledge it, or at least like try to help me on my theories. And if I have any more information or any more updates on theories, then I will definitely post that. I know it's been a long time since I posted. It's been 4 weeks, but we'll make that but maybe I'll make a uploading schedule soon. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did, leave a like and a comment, and if you want to see more videos from me, don't forget to click that subscribe button. I don't really have a subscribe button because this is my own channel. And ring that bell for notifications. I've never said that before. I've never said ring the bell for notifications. Honestly, don't ring the bell for notifications because I hardly ever post. But at the same time, do ring the bell for notifications because I hardly ever post. And when I do, it's going to be something special. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you later. Bye!